Okay, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all for being here for this meeting of the Town Board of the Town of Carmel. Before we get started, we're going to have the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag, and tonight, Councilman Schneider is going to lead us. But everybody, please remove your hats and stand for the pledge. Thank you. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. May you please remain standing for a moment of silence. Okay, thanks, Jonathan. Okay, once again, thank you all, ladies and gentlemen, for being here tonight, and thank you all at home for watching this meeting of the Town Board of the Town of Carmel. Today's date is Wednesday, November 15th, 2017, and tonight's Town Board meeting is a voting meeting. For the record, all board members are present with us, with the exception of Councilwoman McDonough, who is out of town and on vacation. All the way down to my right is Ann Spofford. She's our town clerk. All the way down to my left is Greg Fulchetti. He's the town attorney. Mary Ann Maxwell, town comptroller, is with us tonight. As also Councilman-elect Mike Borelli is in the audience with us this evening as well. So before we get started, I do want to mention that Senator Terrence Murphy annually has a Veterans Hall of Fame. And he requested that the town of Carmel select a candidate for the Veterans Hall of Fame, which we do every year. And I'm pleased to announce that this year's candidate for Senator Murphy's Veterans Hall of Fame is John F. Borges. John Borges is a longtime Mahopac resident. He is a retired New York City police detective first grade, I believe. And John Borges was also a member of the United States Army. Upon retiring from the police department after a 20-year career, he enlisted in the Army, and he served in Iraq overseas in the medical unit overseas. So John is a wonderful gentleman. The board has known him for many years. Phyllis Borges, his wife, works with Ann Spofford in the town clerk's office. And he's just a great person, and I couldn't think of anybody, more pleased to nominate for the honor as the Town of Carmel Hall of Fame inductee for this year for Senator Murphy's Veterans Hall of Fame. So he's got a really long and extensive resume here. As I said, retired NYPD, military joint humanitarian operations course, Army Medical Department Officer Leaders Course, Army Medical Department Captain Career Advanced Leadership Course, includes training and preparation in response to disasters and hospital management, Advanced Nurse Leadership Course, and it goes on and on and on. So he did serve a tour of duty overseas in the medical unit in Iraq. So congratulations to John Borges. It's well-deserved, and the ceremony this year is going to be, I believe, next Monday. This coming Monday, down in Mount Kisco, Frank? Yeah, the induction ceremony will be down in Mount Kisco, and I'll be attending that. And I guess you'll probably be there also, Frank, to welcome John and assist in inducting John in the Senator's Veterans Hall of Fame. So once again, thank you. And he's also involved, I left this out, but Private First Class Joseph P. Dwyer, the Vet program in Putnam County. He's extremely involved in that, and I think he was probably one of the original veterans that started the Vet program in Putnam County, Joseph Dwyer program. So he's extremely involved in veterans affairs and veterans programs and organizations in Putnam County as well. So we look forward to that on Monday evening. Okay, so again, it's a town board voting meeting, and we have 11 items on the agenda this evening, and the first item is resolution amending and adopting the preliminary budget as the annual budget for fiscal year 2018. So I'm going to ask Councilman Schneider if you could please read resolution number 1.
Whereas the town board has met at the time and place specified in the notice of public hearing on the preliminary budget and heard all persons desiring to be heard thereon, and whereas following the public hearing, the town board met with the town comptroller, Mary Ann Maxwell, in the amended preliminary budget as described on the attached schedule to arrive at a final budget for fiscal year 2018. Now therefore be it resolved that the final budget as incorporated herein and made a part hereof is hereby adopted as the annual budget of the town of Carmel for the fiscal year beginning the first day of January 2018, and that such budget, as so adopted, be entered in detail in the minutes of this town board, and be it further resolved that the town of Carmel Town Clerk Ann Spofford shall prepare and certify in duplicate copies of said annual budget as adopted by this town board, together with the assessment rolls for benefit improvements adopted pursuant to Section 202A, Subdivision 2 of the town law, and deliver one copy thereof to the town supervisor, Kenneth Schmidt, to be presented by him to the Putnam County Legislator. I offer this resolution as read.
Second.
Okay, offered by Councilman Schneider, seconded by Councilmen Lupinacci and Lombardi. Roll call vote?
Yes.
Yes.
Aye. Yes, motion carried. Thank you. Okay, next resolution, resolution number 2 is a resolution adopting the 2018 user fee schedule. Councilman Lombardi, would you read number 2, please?
Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Carmel hereby adopts, effective immediately, the Town of Carmel user fee schedule for fiscal year 2018 in form as attached hereto and made part hereof. I offer the resolution as read.
Second.
Okay, seconded by Councilman Lupinacci. Roll call vote?
Yes.
Yes.
Aye.
Yes, motion carried. Okay, next resolution, number 3, is a resolution making a provisional appointment of real property appraiser in the assessor's office. Councilman Lupinacci, would you read number 3, please?
With pleasure. Resolved that the Town Board of Town of Carmel hereby provisionally appoints Christopher Palaio to position of real property appraiser in the Town of Carmel Assessor's Office effective November 27, 2017, at a CSEA Group 7, Step 1 salary level, subject to the provisions of civil service law and the civil service rules and regulations. I offer this resolution as read.
Seconded.
Yeah, second also. So Councilman Lupinacci read it and offered it, and the rest of the board seconded it. Roll call vote?
Yes.
Yes, with pleasure.
Yes, with pleasure.
Yes, with pleasure also. We have Chris here. Chris Palaio is here in the audience with us. Chris, congratulations on your provisional appointment, to real property appraiser in the assessor's office. Chris came highly recommended by our assessor, Glenn Drosy, for the position, full-time position of real property appraiser. Chris has been with us since 2014 as a part-time hourly worker in the assessor's office. So Chris has proven himself to be an excellent employee, does great work in the field, assessing properties, and as I said, Glenn Drosy, the assessor, couldn't speak more highly of you, Chris, and in his recommendation to promote you to a full-time employee. So congratulations, best of luck in your new position with the town. Continue doing what you're doing. You're doing a great job. Thanks, Chris. Okay, next resolution, number 4, is a resolution authorizing the award of a contract of painting and reflectorizing pavement stripes for the Town of Carmel Highway Department. Councilman Schneider, would you read 4, please?
Be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Carmel, upon the recommendation of Town of Carmel Highway Superintendent Michael Simone, hereby authorizes the award of bid contract for painting of reflectorized pavement stripes on Town of Carmel roads for the period of September 1, 2017 through August 31st, 2018 from Atlantic Pavement Marking, Prospect, Connecticut, under Putnam County bid number RFP 31-17. I offer this resolution as read.
Second.
Okay, seconded by Councilman Lupinacci. Roll call vote?
Yes.
Yes.
Aye.
Yes, motion carried. Thank you. Okay, next resolution, number 5, is a resolution authorizing advertising for bids. Councilman Lombardi, would you read 5?
Resolved that pursuant to the request of the Director of Recreation and Parks, the Town Clerk of the Town of Carmel is hereby authorized to advertise for bids for landscaping and grass cutting services for the Town of Carmel facilities in Carmel Town Hall for 2018, and be it further resolved, the Director of Recreation and Parks is hereby authorized to furnish detailed specifications for the above to the Town Clerk to be used in conjunction with the town's general bid conditions and specifications. I offer the resolution as read.
Second.
Okay, seconded by Councilman Lupinacci. Roll call vote?
Yes.
Yes.
Aye.
Yes, motion carried. Okay, next resolution, number 6, is a resolution declaring certain equipment obsolete and authorizing disposal of same. Councilman Lupinacci, would you read 6?
Resolved that upon the recommendation of Chief of Police Michael Kazari, the Town Board of Town of Carmel hereby declares the following equipment to be obsolete and hereby authorizes its disposal in accordance with town law, including but not limited to disposal pursuant to Town Law Section 64 2-A.
Let him try.
We have one item of a 2008 Ford Crown Victoria, VIN number 2FAHP71V28X179484. The second vehicle is a 2010 Crown Victorian, VIN number 2FAB as in boy, B as in Peter, 7BV3AX135522. I offer this resolution as read.
Seconded by Councilman Lombardi. Roll call vote.
Yes.
Yes.
Aye.
Yes, motion carried. Okay, next resolution, number 7, is a resolution authorizing payment for inspection and remediation Carmel Water Districts number 1, number 8, 10, and 13. Councilman Schneider, would you read 7, please?
Be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Carmel, acting as commissioners of Carmel Water Districts number 1, 8, 10, and 13, and upon the recommendation of Town Engineer Richard J. Franzetti, P.E., hereby authorizes payment for zebra mussel inspection and remediation services to be performed by B&J Plumbing, Inc. of Mahopac, New York, at a cost not to exceed $15,000 in accordance with the memorandum dated October 30th, 2017. And be it further resolved that Town Supervisor Kenneth Schmidt is hereby authorized to sign any and all documentation necessary to authorize the actions contained herein. And be it further resolved that Town Comptroller Mary Ann Maxwell is hereby authorized to make any and all necessary budget transfers or modifications required to fund the cost of this authorization. I offer this resolution as read.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Lupinacci. Roll call vote.
Yes.
Yes.
Aye.
Yes, motion carried. Thank you. These zebra mussels have been quite a nuisance in Lake Mahopac, and one of the things that's happening is our intakes for our water systems, they're attaching themselves to the interior walls of the intakes and the screens to the intakes, so it's clogging them, the zebra mussels, and we have to, I think we're doing it twice a year now, we're sending divers into the lake to clean out the intake pipes and the intake screens to allow for the water to freely flow through the pipes. So this is going to become, this has been a problem, it's going to continue to be a problem now that zebra mussels have invaded Lake Mahopac. Unfortunately, it's something that, not sure if they'll ever be remediated or cleaned up, but they're there now and they're there to stay for the foreseeable future because there's really no process or system in place to be able to clean them up and remove them from the lake. So they're there and they're quite a problem. We're dealing with them as best we can and keeping our water systems at least flowing and functioning 100% from the water from Lake Mahopac. Okay, next resolution, number 8, is a resolution accepting proposal for a cyclical revaluation services. Councilman Lombardi, would you read number 8, please?
Resolved that the Town Board of Town of Carmel hereby accepts the proposal of GAR Associates, LLC, Amherst, New York, for the assessment and appraisal services to be provided in conjunction with the 2018 Town of Carmel Assessment Roll at a cost not to exceed $45,000, and in accordance with the proposal dated October 12, 2017. And be it further resolved, the Town Controller Mary Ann Maxwell is hereby authorized to make any and all necessary budget transfers or modifications required to fund the cost of this authorization. I offer this resolution as read.
Seconded?
Okay, seconded by Councilman Lupinacci and Councilman Schneider. Roll call vote.
Yes.
Yes.
Aye.
Yes, motion carried. Okay, next resolution, number 10, is number 9, is a resolution authorizing entry into a contract for the purchase of real property. Councilman Lupinacci, would you read 9, please?
Resolved that the Town Board of Town of Carmel hereby authorizes the entry into a contract of sale for the purchase of real property located at 628 Route 6, Mahopac, New York, from Swan Cove Manor LLC for a purchase price not to exceed $1 million, said contract to be in form and content as attached hereto. Be it further resolved that Town Supervisor Kenneth Schmidt is hereby authorized to execute said contract of sale and that any and all other documentation to effectuate and consummate the purchase and title transfer of said real property to the Town of Carmel. And be it further resolved that the Town Board of Town of Carmel further authorizes any appraisal service necessary and required to be performed in connection with the aforesaid purchase. And be it further resolved that Town Comptroller Mary Ann Maxwell is hereby authorized to make any and all necessary budget transfers or modifications required to fund the cost of this authorization. I offer this resolution as read.
Seconded?
Okay, seconded by Councilman Schneider. Roll call vote?
Yes.
Yes.
Aye.
Yes, motion carried. And just let me explain for the benefit of the public, this is the property that the town is acquiring. It's behind the Mahopac National Bank. Swan Cove is the name of the site, but it's where there's 8 old rental bungalows that are currently on that site. The town is purchasing that, and we're also meeting with Mahopac National Bank this Friday to discuss purchasing several lots that the bank owns that would make that this site would be municipal parking. Part of it will be parking, and part of it will become part of the Chamber Park. So this is a project that the town is undertaking to address our parking needs in downtown Mahopac. Everyone knows that there is a lack of parking space in downtown Mahopac as we speak. It's been a problem for years now, and the town really, we agreed that we needed to address it. So this property, White Swan property, if you will, became available this year, and we began negotiations with the property owner, and recently we have come to terms with the purchase agreement for that site, and that's what this contract is tonight that the board approved for me to execute is that location. So the other parcel that we're going to be discussing on Friday with Jerry Klein, the president of the Mahopac National Bank, along with other representatives of the bank, is where the Chamber building is located. That would be, it would be a flag lot, if you will. It appears to be a flag lot because this property, the Swan Cove property, is located closer to the lake, and the Chamber building parcel, I'm sure you're all familiar with that, is closer to 6N. So that parcel runs the entire length from 6N, and it runs alongside of the bank properties, and also it backs up to the Swan Cove property. So the plan is that the ingress and egress will be where the Chamber property is located, where the Chamber building is located. That will be the ingress and egress for the lot in the back, but it'll also provide for additional parking spaces as well. So it's twofold. It's access to that back lot, but it's also going to be parking. And as I said, there'll be some parkland associated with the White Swan property as well. So it's not going to be all parking lot. Part of it is going to be parking, and the front part of it that borders the lake is going to be connected to the Chamber Park. So you'll have parklands there, you'll have parking on that site, but you'll also have parking on the Chamber site where that building is located. Lake frontage, there's about 150 feet of lake frontage where the White Swan Cove property is, and there's another 50 feet where the Chamber property is located. So combined, the two properties have a 200-foot lake frontage on Lake Mahopac. It's something that we don't currently own, lakefront property, and I think this is going to be a huge benefit to the community. It addresses the parking lot issue, and I believe it solves 80% of it, but it also allows for additional parklands in the town of Carmel associated with the Chamber Park. So I believe it's an excellent acquisition for the town. It's going to change the whole motif of the town, if you will, in that location. It's going to really, make the town much more attractive, by not having that building there, number one. Number two, we're creating parking for our municipal use, so our merchants can, so customers can, patronize our merchants, and people can walk freely throughout downtown Mahopac without having to drive around the block 8 times to find a parking space. So this is something that, we're very enthusiastic about. This is something that we're looking forward to creating. So this is the first part of the puzzle, is acquiring this property. The second part of the puzzle, if you will, is the bank property. So once we put all that together, we'll formulate a plan, we'll go out to design, and we'll move forward with the build out of it. So this is going to be evolving. It's going to take some time, but we're hoping that if all the pieces of the puzzle connect and they all come together, which I'm hopeful that they will, we're going to have a really nice location down there for people to park and also for people to use as parkland. So does any other board members want to?
You're sharing a lot and communicating, which is wonderful. Just, we should communicate so the people on the point and also the residents fully aware that it most likely will be a passive park, no beach to swim at. We already have a beach at Sycamore, and we're not going to be going into the boating business and having slips and adding that. So it's going to be more of a boardwalk type pier at least what we've been envisioning. Picnic on it, side of the lake, wedding pictures, prom pictures, and what have you. It's more passive, so the people on the point don't have to worry about that. There's gonna be boats taking off, and no public launch.
No, yeah.
Of motorboats, of
motorboats, right,
motorboats,
right.
yes. I mean,
Yeah.
we have kayaks and stuff like that lessons, but no motorboat public launch.
Yeah.
Just to fully communicate, so they're aware of what type of park it could possibly be. We also have to vet this through the rec committee. The park is actually a byproduct of all the work that's going in to do the parking, and then having the access to the lake, it has evolved to be a byproduct of this project.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, thanks, John. Jonathan, you want to mention anything?
I think it's important to note that in our parking study that we're doing, that this is one section of it, but we're also going to be looking at Hamlet of Carmel as well, so that we can make sure that everybody across the town is looked at appropriately. And hopefully, we'll be able to find some type of solution for the Hamlet of Carmel as well for their area parking, because this should be, if we can acquire the properties from the bank as well, this should be a spectacular project for downtown Mahopac,
Yeah.
and we should be able to do the same thing for the downtown Hamlet of
Yeah.
Carmel as well.
Agreed, absolutely. Frank, did you have anything?
No, it's going to be a benefit, for sure.
Yeah. A huge benefit. Just so everybody knows, the bank owns 7 parcels down there. So you may feel that the bank is on just one lot. There's multiple lots there. It's the one lot where the Chamber Building is located. There's a smaller lot to the right of it, where there used to be a market there, a meat market or a deli, if you will, many, many years ago. That building was taken down, but the lot still remains one lot. The larger parking lot is a separate lot. Then there's a smaller lot towards the front of the bank parking lot, which borders Route 6N. The bank is on one lot, and there's a lot behind the bank where the drive-through window is located as well. So there's multiple parcels on that site. When we meet on Friday, we're actually going to be discussing, all of those parcels. We're going to be looking at and discussing and talking about, can they blend in with what we're trying to create there? Do we need them? Do we not need them? Do we just need the chamber piece? Do we need the smaller piece to the right of that? So whatever is going to make it work, whatever we can work out with the bank to optimize the entire use of that back parking lot. So we may discuss purchasing other parcels if they come to us, during the negotiations and say, here's our number, this is what we'd be willing to sell you, here's our price, let's talk about it. So if there's a number that they have for all the parcels, it may make sense, if the number's right, to perhaps purchase all of them. Only if the number is right and we can afford it, and if it makes sense for the back lot. So these discussions are going to be ongoing. They're starting on Friday. This is the first sit-down with the president of the Mahopac National Bank Tompkins Trust to discuss these parcels that they own. And, we'll report back, or I'll report back from time to time and let you know how those negotiations are going. But it was important to lock up this piece in the back under contract. So that's what we did tonight, and that was the first piece of the puzzle. So this is going to be ongoing, but hopefully this is all going to work out, and it's going to make a huge difference for downtown Mahopac. Okay? Excuse me?
We're on number 10.
Okay, thanks, John. All right, number 10, resolution consenting to the dedication of town highways. This is from Kirkwood Estates. So number 10, Councilman Schneider, would you read that, please?
Whereas an application to dedicate Randor Lane and Allen Drive, AKA Spruce Top Drive, in the Kirkwood Estates subdivision of the town of Carmel, together with the dedication and release, has been filed by Kirkwood Estates LLC, and whereas the town highway superintendent and the town engineer have recommended that the road be accepted for dedication, now therefore be it resolved, in accordance with the provisions of Section 171 of the Highway Law of the State of New York, that the town board of the town of Carmel hereby consents to the dedication of Radnor Lane and Allen Drive, a.k.a. Spruce Top Drive, in the Kirkwood Estates subdivision, and hereby authorizes the town highway superintendent to sign an order laying out said Radnor Lane and Allen Drive, a.k.a. Spruce Top Drive, in the Kirkwood Estates subdivision as town highways upon being advised by the town council that all necessary documents required in connection with said dedication has been received. And be it further resolved that upon the recommendation of Highway Superintendent and the Town Engineering Consultant, the posting of a maintenance bond for said road is hereby waived since the top course of pavement has been in place for over 1 year. I offer this resolution as read.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Lombardi. Roll call vote.
Yes.
Yes.
Aye.
Yes, motion carried. Okay, the 11th and final resolution for this evening is a resolution authorizing the filing of the semi-annual MS4 stormwater report. Councilman Lombardi, would you read 11, please?
Sure. Whereas the town board has been presented with a draft semi-annual MS4 stormwater report prepared by the Town of Carmel Engineering Department. And whereas public comment on the draft annual report was received by the town board, and the town board has considered any such comments to such report. Now therefore be it resolved, the Town Supervisor Kenneth Schmidt is hereby authorized to sign and file said report as drafted by Town Engineer Richard J. Franzetti, P.E., or offer the resolution as read.
Second.
Okay, seconded by Councilman Lupinacci. Roll call vote.
Yes.
Yes.
Aye.
Yes, motion carried. Thank you. Okay, that concludes the agenda items for this evening's Town Board voting meeting. Is there any members of the public that are here with us tonight that would like to come up and speak? Come on up to the podium at this time. Hey, Ed.
Good evening. Edward J. Scott, Chairman of the Board of Fire Commissioners in the Mahopac Volunteer Fire Department Incorporated. The fire department has been serving the town of Carmel for over 100 years, the last 63 with a fire protection contract. In 2010, we told the town that increases to our budget were necessary to build up reserves again after the construction of our headquarters and to plan on apparatus replacement. We gave the town a replacement schedule then and have updated it with information required in the 2016 contract. When we discovered the theft in 2015, we immediately notified the town and have been honest and open in dealing with the town. After the theft was discovered, the town arbitrarily cut our contract by $500,000, approximately a 30% cut. We did what we had to do and worked with that in 2016 and 2017. But in our budget proposal to the town for 2017, we did say we'd be looking for an increase in 2018 to pay for replacement apparatus. Again, our two main attack trucks are over 20 years old. Our rescue truck is over 30 years old. All three do not meet current NFPA standards, and the maintenance costs are increasing due to the age of the apparatus. After submitting our request this year, our treasurer spoke with 4 members of the town board individually and explained the reasons we were asking for the increase for 2018. We again explained our reasons at the town board work session on October 11th. Town board members agreed during that meeting that we needed to be properly funded to provide the proper protection for our members and the public. No one disagreed. In fact, Councilman Schneider even stated that we needed a proper fund balance. He even said he would like to see us have a $5 million fund balance, obvious reference to the amount of our theft. At the public hearing last week, no one spoke on the total town budget, and only one person out of a town population of only 34,000, including over 10,000 that reside in our protection district, spoke against the requested increase. When the supervisor called me and I met with him last Thursday, he told me the board voted in executive session to not include our requested increase in the budget. He explained the board feels since we had an approximate $200,000 surplus in 2016 and what they felt would be a $200,000 to $300,000 surplus in 2017, there was no need for the increase in the contract. This came as a shock, given the vocal public and personal support that we received from our elected officials last month during election season. Also came as a shock because there was no public discussion about this vote, even though we advised there was no legal basis on which the town board had the right to conduct secret, non-public discussions about our request. Also came as a shock to many non-safety sensitive areas for which the town board budget increase for 2018. To say that we are expected to have a $200,000 surplus this year is simply wrong. For one, the year is not done yet. For another, to date, the fire department has spent $936,000 out of the $1.2 million budget for 2017. Looking into past history, we expect at least another $150,000 to $200,000 worth of bills in November and December. Even looking at this conservatively, that means maybe a $50,000 to $100,000 surplus, not $200,000. And that is not enough to permit us again next year to undertake our apparatus replacement SCBA bottle replacement, and properly equip our members with the required bailout systems. Since the discovery of the theft, the town board has treated the fire department as criminals rather than victims of a crime. We've received no support from the town board except during election time, and then it seems we're everybody's friends. Additional sanctions were placed on our department following the discovery of the theft that the other fire departments in the town do not have. We understand why the town board thought that was necessary back then, and we do not understand why it is still necessary, given all our efforts ensuring transparency and openness in our budgeting, expenditures, and overall operations. Continue to punish our residents by once again shortchanging their fire protection district is mean-spirited, short-sighted, and as far as we're concerned, endangers public safety. As we told you during the public hearing, we are required by contract with you to maintain suitable apparatus to meet the contract. Likewise, we need to replace our Scott bottles, SCBA bottles, in a timely fashion as to not impose a huge burden on the taxpayers at the end of their service life. We need the bailout systems to comply with NFPA and other legal requirements, and most importantly, to ensure the safety of our members. The town, by not providing the fire department with the means to properly meet these obligations, is jeopardizing our ability to safely and efficiently do so. The town board knew of all this and didn't ask questions when we spoke about our budget proposal. Actions speak louder than words. We first responders now know where the town board stands regarding public safety issues. We will make sure the public knows where to go to complain when we are forced to make cuts in other program areas in order to be able to live up to our contractual and legal obligations to the members of our community. Thank you.
Okay, anyone else like to come up and comment at this time? Come on up. Mike?
Yeah, Kenny, I don't want to go back and forth, but council actually brought up a good point that, listening to that, just one point, make it clear.
Yeah.
We don't vote in executive
Right.
session. Comments were made during the public hearing, but we don't vote ever in executive session. The vote was made tonight.
Correct, yeah.
So,
Yeah, no, that's a good point. No, we don't. We never vote in executive session. We discuss it in executive session because it's a budgetary item, it's a contractual item. We discuss in executive session, but we didn't take a vote in executive session. So it's going to make that clear. Yes, Mike?
Yeah, I just want to make a couple of comments on the purchase of the property, 628 Route 6. I think it's going to be a great thing for the businesses of the town of Mahopac and for the community. Having spending a little bit of time there now, I understand the challenges that the town has and the businesses have, and the people that come to visit our town have in terms of taking advantage of what we have to offer. So I think it's a great thing. My only comment is that if it comes at a reasonable cost, which I'm sure that you guys are all focused on. And the last thing is, since the chamber is part of that piece of the puzzle, I just wanted to let you know that there are 4 other nonprofit organizations that reside in that building that ultimately will be affected, that's all.
Okay, great. Thanks so much, Mike. Appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, anyone else that's here with us this evening would like to come up and comment on agenda items only at this time? Come on up.
Good evening. Judy Mira, Carmel. I, too, have some questions about resolution number 9. I also think it would be absolutely wonderful, and it would add so much to the businesses and the residents. You've talked a lot about it, but I would like to know, and if you've said it or you can't say it now, I'm not sure, but where in the budget do you get the money for the $1 million to pay for this, and whatever other parcels are going to be discussed? Mm-hmm. And do you have a proposed budget and a developer for the development of the property, and what would be the cost of the insurance when the property is all done?
Okay, those are all good questions, and your last 2 parts of your comment, that's to be determined at this point. We haven't determined that yet. But as far as financing the project, we have our controller with us, Mary Ann Maxwell. She will certainly be involved in those discussions with respect to financing it. This contract that I signed that will be executed by me, that was authorized by the board tonight, requires a 10% down payment. And our controller and I had a discussion today with respect to, where perhaps that may come from in the budget, and she did indicate that there is a line in the budget for capital projects that the 10% could be funded out of. So that's where the down payment will be coming out of. The remainder of the $900,000 purchase, that will be determined by the board when we have further discussions about that. But it could be bonded as a capital project for the town. That's possibly a way that we may finance it. So we have to discuss that further,
Okay.
that part of it.
Okay, and I was remiss last week when I was congratulating, so I'd like to congratulate you, Ken Schmidt,
Oh,
on
thank
your
you.
reelection. I know you had a very tough campaign.
It was very difficult, very tough, but, I won by one vote.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
No, I'm only joking.
I knew I should have voted.
Yeah. Thanks so much. Anyone else that would like to come up on the agenda items at this time? Agenda items only? No? Okay. New business, open forum portion of the meeting where you must be a town resident, property owner, taxpayer, business owner to comment at this part of the meeting. This is the open forum, new business part of the meeting. Anybody like to come up? Mr. Buckley?
How are you?
Good, how are you?
I already congratulated you, so I don't got to congratulate you again.
Thank you.
So Robert Buckley from Mayapack, also the chairman of the Parks and Recreation Committee. Some of my questions were answered tonight, but I'm going to have a conversation with you, and I'll be honest with you, don't get insulted, but as the chairman of the Parks and Recreation Committee, there was some property that came up for sale a couple of years ago over in Sycamore Park on the lake over there, and we went over and we looked at it. So when it became available, Mr. Supervisor, you called me up and Jim Gilchrist, and we went and we looked at it, we evaluated it, we tried to make a decision if it was suitable for a park for the town. Ultimately, we decided it was not. I received quite a few phone calls from my committee members wanting to know why are they reading about this in the newspaper and what do I know about it? I told them, I know what you know about it. I read the newspaper, I read the quotes, and I too am disappointed that we were not informed about it. We were supposed to discuss anything that has to do with recreation. And this is a recreation issue, it's a park. And the Recreation Committee was a little taken back by it, to be quite honest with you. So then we got into a further conversation. So, all right, so you're going to spend $1 million for the park. Very happy. I think it sounds like a great thing. Another park in our town is good. What are and I know the person before me, I don't know her name, but she asked about what are the costs outside of purchasing the property to complete the project? Has anyone has a engineer look at it, a feasibility study? What ultimately are you dealing with the DEP? Are you dealing with the DOT with access in and out of the park? There's potential for a lot of issues with the park, and I look at the numbers and dealing with all the other issues with the other towns and not the towns, the other parks in our town. I know the numbers can go from 1 million to 2 million to 2.5 real quick. And I don't think anyone here can deny that, especially if you want to put a dock up, you want to put a bridge up going over. It has the potential. You got to take the buildings down. You have some flood issues in the Mayapack parking lot over there. I know it said that there's a crest there that it doesn't go into Swan Cove, but at the end of the day, people still got to go through that puddle if they want to get to our park. So there are a lot of issues that appear to have to be dealt with. Then I read in the paper that the property owner basically said that he was growing impatient and he wants to strike a deal. So you guys obviously struck a deal because he was impatient. But did anybody really answer all these potential questions? It's like buying a house without getting a thorough inspection of the house and then say, well, we own it now, and now, oh, wow, we got a problem and we didn't look into these. I just think it has potentially a big problem. And before you go to closing, I think I would recommend that you, being that the committee wasn't involved with this, one of the things we would have did and would have told you to do is obviously do an engineering study, deal with the DEP, DEC, see what the DOT has to say about it, deal with the issue of the flooding issue in the Mayapack property, which is not on the Swan Cove. There's a lot of issues over there. And just to say I'm going to go out and buy it, and without thinking about how you're going to resolve all these problems, who knows what they're going to cost. And the reason I say that is we had a survey, I think it was in 2008. And so you're aware, the residents filled out the survey. They asked for a couple things. The number one thing they wanted was a recreation center. On November 8th, I sat there with Jim Gilchrist and Jeff Gontalamo. We presented the Recreation Center. That was number one on the residents' request. So we got some grants. We did all the necessary engineering, Sycamore Park, what the building would cost, and we submitted that to you, and that is now in the board's hand here, and you got to decide at that point what you want to do with it, whether you want to move forward, change it, not do it. The number 2 item was a pool. Then there was a bunch of little other items, and the lakefront access, just so you know, wasn't really mentioned. But you guys are the councilman and the supervisor in this town. Ultimately, you make the decisions, not the recreation board or the advisory committee. But my biggest concern here is we got the airport property over there that's going to have a stadium-type soccer field, a bunch of other soccer and lacrosse fields. We got McDonough Park, which is supposed to convert from all the soccer that was there is supposed to go over to the airport property, and then that was supposed to be exclusively a baseball park and softball park with the skate park down below. And I could probably say off the top of my head, those numbers are probably about 1.5 million, maybe a little more. But what's happening is, and it's really discouraging to me, because when them flyers go out, the booklets every year, my name is on it as the chairman. And people come to me and they yell, they holler, they scream. And I tell them we got a few state grants, we're pending. But let's be real. State grants, you put them in, you wait. We're waiting 2 years right now. They're going to come through for waiting 2 years to get the blacktop in Kilmarnock Park. So it'll get done. If it don't get done by the end of November, it'll get done in the spring. But now, the easy answer for the public is, well, we're waiting for grants. Well, if you're waiting for grants all the time, if you're doing it incrementally, 1, 2, 3, 5 steps, you're talking about a 15-year project here. We have so many families that are utilizing these 2 parks. I'm really happy that you found this money, and you're going to look to spend some more money to buy the chamber. I think it's going to address many needed issues, especially for the businesses downtown. So I'm not sitting here saying anything negative about what's going on there. What I'm saying to you is I'd like to see an effort from this board to say we need to resolve these 2 problems. We need to finally finish the ballpark at the airport and stop waiting for a $50,000 grant, a $100,000 grant, because they wait, and sometimes they come through and sometimes they don't. Why don't you go through your budget and find out how we can get the property done? Mayapack Sports Association is John's on the board. The president, Rich, what's Rich's last name? Cole. Rich DeCola stepped up and said, I have money to help you with this. We want to help, but we ain't coming to the table with no money. And people are just sitting back, waiting and waiting and waiting. I know everybody in here, cares about the people in the town, and I think the lake is a good thing, but it's a passive park. Let's just look at the bigger picture. And I'm not saying don't buy the property, but the passive park is going to deal with a handful of people every day, and you're going to have cars parking there. It's going to be nice to sit there with a chair and look at the lake, and maybe if you could fish a little bit. All right, that's it. But how many people are sitting there waiting to play lacrosse, baseball, and soccer, and they have to play on grass that's horrible, fields that are horrible, fields that people are driving cars on because we don't have fences around them because they're not properly done? How much longer do the residents of our town have to wait? When their kids are getting out of college, they say, I remember when these projects were going and they're still not done. So I'm asking this board, and with the new councilman behind me, I'm asking Mr. Borelli too, he'll be there in January because he'll be making some of these decisions. I'm asking you guys to respectfully see if you can figure out a way to come up with some money, and let's finish these two projects. And the other thing is we're waiting on lawsuits, which we won't talk about lawsuits, but even if the lawsuits came through, and I heard there might be movement, we're talking about a very small part of change, a small part of it. We're talking if you negotiate the 700 to 50%, you're talking about 350. I think the town board needs to make an effort, and John, ballpark numbers. Those ain't, I don't know what's going on with those numbers. I don't get into the legal stuff. I don't put the attorney on the spot. I won't ask him no questions. It's not the right thing to do for me. So, but there are 2 pending lawsuits out there for usage with two developers. But it's still not, if we're, you know, it's like, well, we're waiting for the lawsuit. We're waiting for the grant. I got to tell you, been waiting for 8 to 10 years on everything. Let's maybe find some money. If you got to bond it, and let's really make it happen. Let's make this town. I saw the front page. It's I forget what it's a home run for downtown. I don't want to paraphrase, but something was said, and that's nice that they view it. You want to know what else is a home run for this town? If we finally get the airport property done and McDonough Park, the community center. Now that's another whole story in itself. All right. But the 2 projects that I'm talking to you about, and we have other smaller projects, which the other money we can actually get the projects done with, but those are 2 big projects. I'm asking you publicly, people watching this, they can know, you know, MSA is on me all the time about it. Parents are, he's on the board. It's very difficult to keep telling the people, we're waiting for grants, we don't have the money, we're waiting for a lawsuit. That's, you know what, that stuff's got to go out the window. It's up to you guys to find the money. I'm really glad to see you made effort to find money to potentially buy the Chamber building and provide a great service for the businesses downtown. I'm glad you found money to buy the lakefront property. Now I'm asking you publicly, go find some money and let's get these 2 projects done, because I got to tell you, it's disturbing. All right, thank you very much. And I'm saying this with respect, all right?
Yeah,
thank you.
Fair enough. Thanks, Bob.
All right.
Thank you. Okay, is there anyone else here for the open forum, new business portion of the meeting? Come on up at this time. Okay, there being none, we do have some announcements that we've been asked to make. There's going to be Breakfast with Santa 2017. The date is Sunday, December 10th. Time is 10 a.m., Sycamore Park Place, 790 Long Pond Road. And the price is $9 for residents ages 2 and up. And with a 2017 resident registration card, the fee is it's $15 for non-residents, $9 for residents. And the reason I'm announcing this now is because it fills up fast. It's a great place to bring your children to have breakfast with Santa. Reservations are required, space is limited, so sign up early online at www.carmelny.org/recreation. For more information, please call the rec department, 628-7888. So if you want to reserve a place for breakfast with Santa on December 10th, I would do it now by calling the recreation department, 7888, or go online, www.ny.org/recreation. The fire departments are having their Santa is Coming to the Town of Carmel Candy Cane Run. This is Mahopac Falls, and Carmel Volunteer Fire Departments. The annual Candy Cane Run is Saturday, December 9th, 2017. The bravest will be escorting Santa Claus all around town via fire engine to deliver candy canes to the residents in the town of Carmel. We're also collecting for the Toys for Tots program. If you would like to contribute, one of our elves will graciously accept a new unwrapped toy during this event. Please be advised that our arrival may be delayed due to any fire, rescue, medical emergency that we must respond to. When you hear the sirens down the street, that means Santa is in the area. Santa is coming, so just wait for Santa and the fire truck, and it'll be in your neighborhood on December 9th. All 3 fire departments are doing it on that date. I usually pass these around. John, you want to do this one?
You're on a roll.
I'm on a roll. Okay. The Mahopac Carmel Chamber of Commerce welcomes everyone in the community to come and see the Christmas tree and the menorah lighting and enjoy caroling, refreshments, friends, and the arrival of Santa Claus. This is for everyone is welcome to the Chamber Park. That's at 6 and 6N in Mahopac. It's free admission, and the date is Saturday, November 25th from 4:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. And it's a great event for the family. I know the Chamber. Thank you, Chamber. You guys do a wonderful job there. It's really an amazing event. Santa's there, his elves, Mrs. Claus is there as well. And the park is decorated really nicely for the holidays. And that's something I know the Chamber looks forward to doing every year for the community. So thank you so much. So once again, Saturday, November 25th from 4:30 to 6:30 at the Mahopac Chamber Park to welcome Santa. And I believe the menorah lighting Does that take place that evening also? Okay, so the menorah lighting will be at the Chamber Park as well on that date. Okay, Holiday on the Lake. This is a parade and tree lighting. This is up in the Hamlet of Carmel. The date is Saturday, December 2nd, 2017. So the Hamlet of Carmel Civic Association puts this event on. The schedule of events is pretty extensive. It's a pancake breakfast and photos with Santa at the Carmel Firehouse from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m., 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., Reed Memorial Library, holiday crafts and snacks, and Santa visits as well from 1 to 2. 3 p.m. to 4:30 p.m., the Knights of Columbus Hall, family fun activities, 4-H face painting, and children's crafts. That's from 3 to 4:30 at the Knights of Columbus on Fair Street. From 4 p.m. to 5:30 p.m., the Cornerstone Park. It's caroling by local choirs, hay rides with Santa, cocoa and cookies, chowder tasting, community tree lighting. 5:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m., there's live music on the steps of the historic courthouse by Lake Lanida and Sybil's statue. 6:15 p.m., the Santa stroll starts. It's a fun stroll before the start of the parade. Cheer on all those strolling on Lake Lanida to raise funds for the American Cancer Society. Strollers start from the Cornerstone Park. That's at 6:15 p.m. 6:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m., it's the Holiday Blessing and the Parade of Lights. It's really a spectacular event, the Parade of Lights through the Hamlet of Carmel. It's really beautiful. If you haven't attended it, I encourage everyone and their families to attend this event on December 2nd up in the Hamlet of Carmel. So from 7:30 p.m. to 7:45 p.m., there's caroling and the tree lighting at the lake. So there's free hot chocolate, juice, and cookies, holiday bazaars, craft fairs, and events throughout the day. This is at St. James School, Drew Methodist Church, and the VFW Hall. So we have a lot of holiday events coming up, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of things for you and your family to do during the holidays, and we'll be announcing these events as we go forward at upcoming town board meetings. So we'll announce them again, but just be aware that they're coming up. So next week's town board work session will be held on Tuesday, November 21st, instead of Wednesday, November 22nd. November 22nd is Thanksgiving Eve, so we're not meeting on Thanksgiving Eve. We're meeting on Tuesday, November 21st of next week, and that'll be for a town board work session. So that's all I have for tonight. Does the board have any other announcements? Frank, do you want to announce
Just quickly, we're coming to the end of our Thanksgiving drive. I guess it's our 8th in a row that we've been helping out in Mahopac Middle School. I met with the new principal last night, Casapria, who thanked the town, the employees who work here, and anyone else who dropped off food here. The box and the receptacle is in the town hall hallway, and I believe everything's going to be picked up by Friday. So if anybody has any other Thanksgiving items that they want to drop off for the 50 or so baskets that are needed, unfortunately, in town to make somebody's Thanksgiving what it can be, please tomorrow and Friday morning drop off here, and make some people have a nice Thanksgiving.
Absolutely, yeah.
Like in the past.
Yeah, that's a great event every year, great fundraising effort by everyone involved. And it does make a lot of families happy. Those unfortunate families, they're able to put a Thanksgiving meal on their table. So thanks to the efforts of everyone. And thank you, Frank. I know you've been involved in it for quite a few years now, and you're responsible for getting the turkeys, more or less, or going out and get people to donate. So thank you so much. John, did you have anything?
Nothing.
Jonathan, anything? Nope. Okay, we do have executive session this evening. We have Councilman John Lupinacci is going to update the board on litigation involving the PBA. It's a PERB matter. So we need a motion to go into executive session.
So moved, second.
Okay, so moved by Councilman Lombardi, seconded by Councilman Lupinacci. All those in favor? Aye. All right, good night, everyone. Be well. We'll see you next week on the 21st. It's a Tuesday at 7 p.m. for a work session. Good night, be well.